The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
The Prime Minister just casually dropping by on
part of the show.
Thursday morning. Albo, welcome back.
We get the music and
Yeah,
all.
of course
we do.
Intro
Yes.
Do you know all the words?
to kick off the show. Of course I do.
I
To the second
I
verse?
think I
Do
did
you know
a
the
little bit
second
iffy
verse?
somewhere.
I know
Probably on
the
the
second
second.
verse is fantastic.
Oh, do you know it?
Yeah, of course
We have to. Well,
Do
geez.
you know it?
I know
Well, I
that
don't
beneath
forget
our radiant
singing,
southern
probably.
cross.
Oh, I don't know that
across
part.
the sea with boundless plains to share. It's
Yeah.
a great story of modern Australia. It's great.
Welcoming
I don't
people
know
from
that part, no.
overseas.
Do you know I Love a Sunburnt Country? We used to sing it at school.
No.
Natalie?
Dorothea McKellar,
No.
yes.
What about-
On that note.
Sunburnt country, a land of sweeping plains, of rugged mountain ranges, of droughts and flooded plains.
Unfortunately,
No,
too
we
many
sang Bar Bar
flooding-
Black Sheep.
You'd
Too
know
many-
K-San, though. Because
K-San, I know.
You would know that for sure.
Oh, you're going to pull out a ukulele, are you?
No, that doesn't end well. We've seen that movie and it just crashes.
Now, Albo, you've been in our state for what, roughly 24 hours? Is
I
that
have.
true? And lo and
Round about
behold,
that.
the radioactive capsules found. I mean,
Well,
draw your
I'm
own
just
conclusions.
saying. I'm just saying. People can read into that what they will.
So you're out with a little headlight torch on the side of the road
Looking for the 10-cent coin size.
Not
thing.
even smaller than
8
that.
millimetres. Can you
Yes.
believe that? And they found
And
it?
they found.
Yes.
Well, it
Yeah.
does help that it was kind of sending off.
Yeah.
radioactive.
Yeah.
Can I be honest, though? I don't think they found it. I just think they said they found it because everyone was panicking.
It's all good. Nothing to
No.
see here.
Yeah, because the small ones go, oh, yeah, here it is.
No,
Look, Sean, I found
they
it.
found it. I got a heads up.
Did you? Yeah. So you got a call to say.
When they had found it, I got a heads up, and they were wrapped
I bet they
because
were.
they weren't all that confident. Funnily enough,
No, well, it was
But
a needle in a haystack
They had all these
situation.
teams out
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
over. It was like a
1,400 kilometres. Yeah.
100k strip, and they found it, at a truck
Quite close to Newman, so it didn't last on that truck for very long.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
It's just, which is
It's
a
tough,
little
to tie that- it's
concerning.
tough to tie something
Yeah, the
down.
Oki strap.
Yeah.
Note to file: don't lose it in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
It is akin
Probably
to
a good idea.
It is akin to cleaning up before someone important comes over, though.
Yes, it is.
I don't think if you were coming over, it would have been found. I don't think as much effort would have been put in. It's like, oh my God, he's coming.
Hey, lots going on at the moment. There's one question that there's stuff written in the paper today, and I know this would probably get asked to you a lot, but the voice to Parliament, which is we're going to get a chance to vote on, the referendum's going to be coming. I don't think there's many people who walk down the street understand what it is and what it's about. How would you break it down for the everyday person? What exactly is going on
I
here?
would break it down with two words:
Yep.
recognition and consultation.
Great.
Simple as that. Recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in our constitution. They're not recognised.
Yeah.
Other countries, in their nation's birth certificate, you recognise the full history. Our history didn't begin in 1788 with the colony in Sydney.
Yeah.
It goes back 65,000 years. So recognising them in the constitution.
Could we do that anyway? Couldn't we just go, why aren't we recognising that?
No, because to change the constitution,
Yes.
you have to have a referendum. So the constitution was written in 1901. So, for example, on defence it says, well, I'll paraphrase the words,
Yes.
but it basically says we'll have a defence force
Yep.
and it will have an army and a navy. It doesn't have an air force. Why?
They weren't
There weren't
invented
planes
yet.
flying around in 1901. So it just recognises the principles, what are in the Constitution, and then consultation, just that where matters are going to impact on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, we consult them. They get a voice, literally a voice. They get a say. That's all it is about.
And it won't impact most people.
It won't
That's the bottom line, isn't it?
It
but
won't
to the Indigenous people, it's going to make
it's just
an
a chair at the
enormous
table.
difference.
It's a chair at the table.
yeah.
to be
But
heard.
isn't that the case anyway? Isn't that the case anyway? We've got representatives there with there's chairs, there's in every government there is at the moment. I'm just trying to get a basis.
There's not a structured voice for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. At various times there has been.
Yes, or they've
there
been.
was an ATSIC, there were
Yes.
various forums.
There's been elected
tried.
representatives who are Indigenous.
And
yeah.
there isn't at the moment.
Yes.
And Indigenous people met themselves at Uluru in 2017. They had 5 years of meetings and consultation. They said, this is what we want, and we want to enshrine in the Constitution so that governments come and go. Hopefully this government just comes for a while.
Yeah.
You're going to regret saying that later.
Doesn't go.
Oh, we won't repeat that one.
And doesn't go.
Yes.
You've thrown me now. And so they want to enshrine to get that permanency, but the government of the day will legislate for the structure and all of that. But it's just the principle that where matters affect Aboriginal people, we should consult them. And what we know is when the programs do consult and have that sense of ownership, you get better outcomes. Justice reinvestment, some of the community health
There's
programs,
and buy-in
Indigenous
from the community
ranges.
that it affects.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to come in here and do something in your studio, I'd ask you beforehand, or else you'd be not terribly
You
happy
came in
with
here
the
throwing
outcome.
darts and throwing quoits
So-
like an absolute boss.
Really
Well,
great.
exactly.
Really great
Well,
at
who
throwing
would
a
do
dart.
that?
And tell everyone what happened when you threw your first quoit and how long? When's the last time you threw a quoit?
Oh, well, probably 50 years.
50 years.
Nailed
yeah.
it.
And what happened?
Nailed
Right.
it.
50
Right in the
points.
middle.
Right in the middle.
50 points.
Right in the
100%.
guts.
I am never throwing a quoit again.
Could that be one of the most
because
proudest things
I
during
topped
your
out.
Prime Ministership?
That could be something when the re-election comes around that I mention in
revisiting
my
that for
campaign launch.
We can get the vision.
We
just
launched
so
the
you
last campaign in Perth.
Yes, correct.
And I could come back here
Yeah,
and
just
say,
throw one
and
more
the
coin."
people of Perth, remember the day at Nova FM before 6 a.m.
was
That's
before
true.
6 a.m.
Before 6 a.m.
Yeah,
It was.
that's
Yeah.
what we've
When I
got.
threw a quoit, nailed it.
Now, let's talk about cost of living, and this is an example. So I love these pasties you can get from Farmer Jack's, right? Okay, love them, and they were $3.49. Now they are $4.99, and they've gotten smaller, and that seems to be an example of what's happening everywhere. What?
It's so true. Yesterday, I picked up a packet of CC. Sorry to jump in
Yes,
here.
no.
They said half price on
Yes.
the thing. I was like, oh, beauty. But they've dropped. They've been in the microwave, so you get
It's half price because there's half of them.
Yes, you know what I mean? But I'm sorry, I'm with you.
Yeah. So there's that. There's
I'm
electricity.
older than you blokes. What about Mars bars?
Oh, I remember when Mars bars was 60 cents.
And when they were big.
I know, big. Yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, what
We're
are
on
we-
the big
what-
picture here.
What are we doing? Like, because it's getting really touch and go. People like
There are people that are on the edge.
I spoke to some old people that were at the Galleria shopping centre and asked what they're doing. You know, how are you? All right. They were there just to sit in the air conditioning because they couldn't afford to put it on their house.
Yeah.
No.
And we're
it
in the
is
middle
really
of a
tough.
horrific heat wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing what we can to address cost of living pressures. From January 1, pharmaceuticals cut from $42.50 to $30.
Yeah.
So when you think about things, you
Yes.
think about what's ever gone down in price in your life.
Yes, no,
not
yeah.
much does.
Yeah.
That was the first cut in 75 years
That's amazing.
since the system was introduced.
And I was
that,
really thankful
that
for
makes
that. I thought
a
it's
real
great.
difference
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
Cheaper childcare comes in
Yeah.
on July 1 for families. Wages have started to increase, which makes a difference as well. We brought down a responsible budget last October to try and take that pressure off inflation. So there were one of the contradictions here is a whole lot of things have gone up in price because energy went up in price because of the Russia invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, profits went up of companies, so there was more revenue to the government. We banked that. We paid off debt rather than spent it. Because, which would have been the easy thing to do politically, but we did that because we wanted to take pressure off inflation. And we're very hopeful. The Reserve Bank yesterday made a statement that they're hoping that inflation essentially has peaked and it'll start to decline.
God, we
from
hope
now
so.
on.
The Prime Minister has joined us before he jets back to Canberra in not too far away,
Not
right?
too far away, but I get coffee here. I'll be
Yeah.
back here
And-
at 6 a.m. whenever I'm
Yeah,
in
you're happy
Perth.
with that?
You like it?
I'm happy with that.
Well done. That was Abby.
Abby.
That's Abby. She's
Go on, you Abby.
That's
She's
a-
another girl from Kalgoorlie.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she's very happy
She's up
with
and
that.
about.
Used to be a
she's
barista,
wrapped.
so she's, got the skills.
Hey, I got one more question before, which is about, you talked about inflation a second ago, but also interest rate rises, which...
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a media build-up, but they said the possibility of being 4 more before that settles down as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing the Reserve Bank looking to use to be able to bring back inflation. Is that the right thing to do?
Well, the Reserve Bank are independent of
Yeah.
government, so I've always got to be very careful about giving or attempting to give it instructions because I don't take it.
Yeah.
The truth is, though, that hopefully, inflation has now peaked. That's what we're hoping. So that should lead to less of an increase, certainly this year, than what we'd experienced. But interest rates were, of course, at 0.1,
Yeah.
the official cash rate.
Yeah, I get that.
So that wasn't going to last. Everyone knows that. They were emergency conditions, and so we have seen an increase to more normal levels. But the difficulty will be, of course, that if you borrowed at a certain rate, all of a sudden you can be under real pressure, and I'm sure the Reserve Bank will be conscious of that.
All right, I want to move on to some things about your life as just being PM.
Just some super
I've got
private
some
questions.
So you've got security with you all the time. We know that. So if you're popping down to the shops and like you're in the 8 items or less aisle, do they line up with you or are they on the other side? Where are they?
I'm not going to.
He's not going
No,
to
you
go
can't
on.
tell us where they are.
they're going
So
to
they're
be.
there, aren't they?
They're everywhere.
They're there. So can you, if you want to buy something slightly embarrassing, I don't know what that'd be, but I'm sure you've got some stuff. Do they see everything you buy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you have any privacy at all?
Or do you DoorDash
You
that?
bet. No. On Sunday, I bought some undies and socks.
Oh, I wonder what
Did
you were gonna
you?
say
They were
then.
with me. They were with
Were
me.
they?
Do they give you
Okay.
advice on colour or anything?
No, they're very discreet. They do their job in a fantastic manner, and it's a good thing that in Australia, relative to a whole lot of countries,
Yes.
The leader, the president, or the prime minister wouldn't be out there shopping.
I know, it's amazing.
So you go to Coles and you can go to Coles or Woolies or Kmart.
I go out there. There was one day in Canberra very early on, and I'm going through the Canberra Centre, I think it's called, the big shopping centre in the middle of Civic, and I'm there and I'm walking through and I've got my dog Toto.
Yeah.
Has a particular brand of dog food. It's the only one she will eat.
Yes.
She's a princess. And so I'm walking through with these 2 cartons of dog food, one tucked under each arm. Because it is because of inconvenience now. I tend to buy, in bulk.
Yeah, that's right. When you buy it, you're buying a lot.
So
And
there I am,
two giant things of dog food and the tiniest dog known to man.
walking through. Don't you attack my dog. Say what you like about me, leave Toto
Yeah,
alone.
that's right.
So
Toto did
tucked
the same.
under each wing, and people were stopping me and talking. So
and it's getting
there
heavier and heavier.
I'm amazed. I'm waiting for the selfies to it. I'm sure they're
Yes.
up somewhere on Facebook or something or other of me doing a selfie with this dog food tucked under my arm,
Yeah.
and a big bag of biscuits as well.
That's memes waiting.
Yeah,
to
that's
happen.
right.
Waiting to happen.
But
Waiting to
I
happen.
bet the dog food company is gagging to get their hands on that
I
big
bet
bag.
they are. They don't know.
No, you're not going to name them, are they?
No. Why give them free publicity?
right,
I give
that's
them
right.
enough. I give them enough.
And now I want to pop into your house, right? So say when you're staying at the lodge, right? Or
Yep.
Kirribilli, are you allowed to just hang a picture on the wall? Do you have to get permission? Like, what's the deal with that?
Oh, look, that is one of the great privileges is that the National Gallery of Australia, with their national collection, include, because it's an official residence, I have artwork
Get
from
out.
the
Really
National
important.
Gallery.
Artwork.
Can you pick it, or do they just send stuff?
Oh, yeah. So there's been a bit of a change in the artwork at
Yeah,
the lodge
I
in
can imagine
Kirribilli.
you've
I know
got
that will
different
come as a
tastes.
surprise.
Yeah.
Have you got blue poles hanging in the lounge room?
No, but I do have a Jeffrey Smart. I have a Brett Whiteley.
Yeah.
I have some amazing Indigenous art.
Yes.
I have
What a great
The
person.
Mona Lisa.
Sally Gabori. It's all Australian
Yes,
art.
yeah.
It's fantastic. Arthur Boyd.
That's
I
brilliant.
don't know if I'd want that in my house if it wasn't mine. Like, that's a
Well,
bit, like, scary.
No, but when you get bored of
I
it,
suppose
you
you're
hang
not going to have a
out.
house party, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one can walk in and walk out with it. But it's a good use. So, in coming weeks, I'm hosting the premiers and chief ministers tonight for dinner at the lodge. But hosting the leaders of Vanuatu and later this year, we'll have the Quad leaders. So I'll have President Biden, Prime Minister Kishida of Japan, and Prime Minister Modi of India.
Yeah.
And so it's showcasing Australian art. And the truth is that it's better being on a wall and being seen than being...
than not.
It's strange that we've never been
No doubt
invited.
about it.
isn't it
No
weird?
doubt about it, Albo.
Can't be
So,
a bigger supporter. And
Should
don't
we
get
just
invited, so-
give you a buzz next time
you
we're
need
in
to come
the...
over to Canberra.
We would love to come
I've
over
never
to
been to Canberra.
Did-
I've never been.
Haven't you?
Never been once.
You've
no.
never been
I've
to
travelled
Canberra.
extensively. I've never been to Canberra.
Australian War
It is a
Memorial,
great
unreal.
city.
Yeah.
I performed a concert with the Big Brother cast and Delta Goodrum on the lawn of Parliament House there.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a huge thrill. I sang Hark the Herald Angels Sing for the Christmas concert. You probably heard about it.
They're still talking about
We're being
it.
wound up and
That's right.
security's starting
Because
to point their
apparently
guns at us.
you've got a plane
You've got to go,
catch.
mate. You've got to go.
We really appreciate you dropping by.
Thank you.
Albo.
Great.
Come back
See you in Canberra.
Yeah, no
We'd love
doubt.
to
It's
come
a
to
great.
Canberra.
It's a great
If
city.
we come to
Yeah, I've
Canberra,
been there
would
a
you
few
have
times.
would you have us over to the house?
I would.
To the lodge?
I would. It is Australia's largest inland city, and it has the National Gallery, the War Memorial, the National Museum.
Fishwick.
You forgot Fishwick. I mean, that's surely in top 5.
That's all Sean talks
Is
about.
that where you buy the movies?
Yes, yes, it is.
It's an industrial area. You can get a lawnmower there as well while you're there.
Yeah, Albo knows. He
it
comes
is
up with
an
2 bags full,
industrial
big bags full under his arms.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Friday.
Thank you so much,
mate.
and thanks for the games of
wow,
darts
man.
and quoits.
Loving it.
You have not lost it. It's
I
25.
won't be playing quoits again.
No, I
That's
won't.
it.
No, that's it.
Rest on your laurels.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.